Today we're going to be headed to the GT race in Birmingham, Alabama at Barber Sports Motor Speedway. Tickets were $40 per person, and they did have free parking. The other thing I like about this event is it's BYOB, so you can bring your own cooler in, filled with water or beer. We also bring our own chairs, and you can set up a tent in near turn 2 and 3. This was a beautiful complex with some interesting art, including this young lady. Everything was real clean, they had plenty of bathrooms, and the weather was absolutely amazing this September afternoon. We started off by heading to the player zone, where they had plenty of food trucks. They also had inflatables for the kids. All of it was free. You just had to sign your kid in. They also had a lot of cars to check out. Lamborghini of Atlanta and McLaren of Atlanta were both there. They also had plenty of Mustangs, Hondas, and some classic cars too. We found an amazing spot to sit in the shade. Along the tree line, you could see plenty of the track. We weren't the only ones, but there was still plenty of room. It got warm in the afternoon, so having this shade was real nice, and there was a nice breeze. Here's the startup lap for the GT race. Plenty of fun cars to look at.
Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, McLaren, or Lambo.
This Mercedes led most of the race. Since this was a Pro-Am, there were pro drivers and amateur drivers both participating. You can definitely tell a time split between the pros and the amateurs. That made it interesting because there was lots of good passing. We were rooting for Ferrari and for Corvette. However, they didn't place too well.
Here they come.
There were a few accidents, which was fun to watch. Luckily, no one got hurt. Here we're going to watch this Mercedes make its lap all the way around. It was roughly 2 minutes. You could see most of it from the woodline. Tomorrow's race we're going to sit over near the fan zone. It gives you a different perspective of the track and a little bit more sun in case it's a little cooler. The noise wasn't too bad, but if you have small children, which if they're under the age of 15 are free, I would definitely recommend bringing some earphones. Day 2 of the sprint weekend, we decided to sit in the fan zone. You can sit here for free. They also have beer for $9 if you didn't want to bring your own. This corner right here was super fast, and it gave us a great perspective. There wasn't much passing, but they definitely hit it at a high speed, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Racing drivers have a degree of indifference when it comes to racing incidents and things when you get beat. I can tell you that for sure.
I'm not a big fan of musicals, but they did great with this one. Good for them, I guess. The Ferrari was definitely our favorite. It didn't do so well in the first half of the race, but in the second half of the race, it ended up finishing second. Nice job, Ferrari.
That's Kolbecker and Schwein coming down into the final couple of corners here. They'll stay single file, but the pressure is just building here in this battle. And Max Schwein starting to apply pressure back to Spike Kolbecker. Got caught a little off guard on the opening lap into the museum corner. And then number 98 in the right. That flag stay once more. Green flag in the air. We are racing at Barber Motorsports Park. Brilliant getaway there for the McLaren of Black course in that silver class lead fight. Second or third place rather with the 68 just up the road. Ryan Bengals now split the difference between the two champions. So they're trying to see where they can get the clearance to the pace. It's way over for the Bengals and those defensive ability. Man, GMF and Randy Bengals finally. Randy Bengals giving up the ghost there. Kevin Cook sees the running on the wall, but he's not done. A little bit of contact. Yeah, it's getting pretty racy down into Museum Corner. We keep it straight though, and everyone filters through turns 9 and 10.
At $40 per day per ticket, and kids under the age of 15 entering for free. Plus, you can bring your own coolers, and you can sit anywhere you want along the track. I definitely recommend checking out this GT race in Birmingham. It was a lot of fun for a weekend. Hotels weren't very expensive either. We paid about $120 a night at a Hampton or a Hilton. It was a good weekend. I definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching.